Yeah, so when you have a physical asset, and it doesn't have to be physical, but let's just focus for now on physical assets. You can actually create a form of those assets in a blockchain that makes them unique. So think of the best example I can give is today we take photos with our phone. And so I'll take a photo of this session that we're having right now. I'll grab the screen of the session and I'll send it to someone. So now I have the original because I took it and somebody else has a copy. Now that person can take that copy of the image or the picture that I took and send it to somebody else. 6 months later, a year later, we have a lot of this screenshot of you and I talking, but who has the original? So we have to physically, we have to create a mechanism by which my original photo is notarized and someone has to stamp it and basically says, this is the original picture that was taken. Because the internet does not allow us to transfer, it allows us to share. And so all information today is shared. When you tokenize, if we were to tokenize the photo, if we put the photo app on a blockchain, and if our phones are nodes now connected to that blockchain, which is basically hooking up to the blockchain, so that's what could be called a node, sorry. In that kind of architecture, when I take the photo or the screenshot and I send it to you or send it to someone, it would be burned on my phone and then recreated on the phone of the person that received it. If that person sends it to somebody, the same will happen. It will get eliminated or burned in their phone and then recreated in the other person's phone. We will only have one token form of that photo at all times. There'll never two of them exist. And all of us, all the participants in that blockchain that potentially received that photo will be logged. So we will know who took that photo, who received it, who sent it, and so forth, so on. We will know the entire history from the time the photo was created until the time it resided on the last node or the last phone. Think of that effect of technology on money or on, let's say, a document that proves you're the owner of an asset, of a home, potentially, of an apartment. Or let's say you own a piece of art. That potentially physical assets and non-physical assets can be tokenized, and the technology that will carry that information will operate in the way that I described it. The same way you have, for example, stock certificates. Stock certificates have a number. And so when you sell your share, it goes to somebody else.
Right.
Right? So we can trace shares of a company by owners. So imagine that effect on a dollar bill. Imagine that effect on a potentially programmable money used for certain use cases. So you could program money in the future, fiat currency, regulated money, you could program it for certain use. If you want to block its usage for something else, you can create loyalty programs on it, because in addition to tokenizing assets, you can make them programmable, you can make them smart, and you can create conditions on that because of blockchain, which are called smart contracts. So you could say, if Anna receives this money, then release the merchandise that Anna was selling, only if she receives the token. That will be embedded in the money. We don't need another database. We don't need another technology. We can embed that in the flow of money. And all of this today works very different with the internet.
Right.
The money resides in one platform, or the initiation of the money, the conditions or let's say the contracts on that money on another database, the identity of who's transacting in another database, and so forth, so on. There are many databases that have to connect, exchange information, and if they're not interoperable, that's cycle time delays, that cost, that's inefficiency. So that is the challenge that I said in the beginning. That is the call to action. We got to upgrade this internet that we use today to something more modern, more programmable, more efficient. And that is the promise of blockchain, which allows us to tokenize and create digital identity and other benefits.